Why are Jews so affluent? I've discovered the secret, and it might be the most surprising information you'll hear today. However, by the end, you'll realize it's true and worth watching this video until the end. Allow me to explain why the Jewish community is the richest in the world. The secret of Jewish prosperity has been hidden for millennia, dating back 3,000 years, and no one has been able to unravel this mystery. Until finally, the secret has been revealed, and you will know it now. I have explored many places around the planet, and everywhere I go, Jews are seen as the most affluent group. Over the last 2,000 years, Jews have been expelled or marginalized from nearly every country, yet time and again, they have managed to rebuild, start from scratch, and accumulate significant wealth in new regions. Even when expelled again, they always restart and thrive. The secret of Jewish wealth is that this people has always had a deeper understanding of how to manage money than others. The wisdom of these eternal principles I will reveal has been passed down from generation to generation, enabling many to build financial wealth and personal development. If you follow these simple pieces of advice, you will take control of your finances and could accumulate a great fortune, perhaps millions of dollars. These insights go beyond money. They also address your own discipline and the love between you and your family. As we delve into these valuable tips from the Jewish people, you'll see they can apply to any belief or economic condition. This is the oldest financial method in the world and the only one that has endured over time. Let's proceed. You've probably heard that to be rich and prosperous, we need to visualize and repeat an affirmation that becomes a powerful will attracting more abundance. So comment, I am learning to be rich with the Jews. This shows you truly wish to thrive. When I see your comment, I'll give it a heart. Now that you've commented, let's move on. Jewish prosperity. The first point to note. Keep the void filled without overspending on frivolous things. How many times do we end up acquiring unnecessary items or clothes we'll never wear, simply because of an urgent need to buy that we can't resist? By doing this, we are in fact filling a void in our lives with debt. And that's not what you want, right? This is a slow but certain path to self-destruction, leading us step by step to depression and poverty. What we need to learn is how to handle these situations in a way that brings clarity and prosperity rather than confusion. Let's imagine for a moment that there are two beings within us. The first is the beast, representing the untamed part of our soul that controls our desires, greed, appetite for material goods, and need for instant gratification. It resides within us and wants to grow. The more we feed it, the harder our lives become. Its goal is to create disorder. However, this side was created to serve as a counterbalance to our second inner being, the angel. The angel knows what is right, but sometimes the beast prevails. The real problem is that we are feeding the beast, allowing it to dominate the angel. This is reflected in our finances. That's why our salary comes in and goes out so quickly, making prosperity impossible. So, let's do something different. Instead of feeding the beast at the expense of our future, let's try to control it and use it to our advantage. The first thing to do is look within yourself and recognize that you are equally responsible for your successes and failures. To succeed in life, it is essential to understand this. The next time you think about buying something expensive, step out of the store and reflect on the purchase for a week. Ignore the beast that makes immediate satisfaction seem irresistible. I believe the true definition of wealth is valuing what you already possess rather than yearning for what you don't have. Point for reflection: the secret of Jewish prosperity. The true definition of wealth is seeing your possessions from a divine perspective. Over the years, different groups see themselves as victims. Some have been targets of wars and atrocities, but Jews who have been repeatedly persecuted see themselves as survivors. The difference between survivors and victims is that survivors move on after tragedy, while victims remain lamenting their losses. We understand that everything in the Bible has a purpose to teach us something. We see that God took time to work and establish the seventh day as a day of rest. The concept of budgeting was created by God to provide us with a prosperous life in the world He created for us. Therefore, we must learn to budget to imitate God in our financial life. Learning these eternal truths not only prepares your family for a better future, but also changes your family's history forever, providing the confidence needed. You will begin to wake up every day eager to be alive, aware that today is better than yesterday, and tomorrow will be even better. Let's practice. Comment: today was better than yesterday, and tomorrow will be better than today. Do this, and you will be connected to the current of prosperity. So far, your money controls your actions and your work. Now, you must turn this key by learning to instruct your money on how to work for you. Reflection point: how to become wealthy. According to The Secrets of the Jews, financial games are a collaborative sport. Pay attention to this. Managing finances is a collective effort. God established a covenant with Noah after the flood, and also with Abraham. A covenant is an agreement between two parties. To thrive financially, you need to create what I call a covenant with your family. This covenant will demonstrate your commitment to them and the future you wish to build together, and they must commit as well. Start by being honest about your current financial situation and where you aim to go. Talk about the things both of you are willing to sacrifice for a more prosperous future. To advance financially, everyone must be in harmony and sync, as you and your family are literally in the same financial boat, just like Noah and his family were in the ark. Jewish rabbis spend many hours counseling couples, and in each case, they like to discuss not only compatibility and love, but also the relationship with money. If you and your partner are not on the same financial wavelength, there's a great chance your marriage won't thrive. Marriage cannot be an individual effort. Financial problems are a leading cause of separations. Money is energy. It meets our basic needs and provides choices and opportunities. When we save and accumulate wealth, we can decide if we want to work or when we wish to work. We can choose to help a charity or contribute to humanitarian efforts elsewhere. We can also offer future generations more opportunities. According to Jewish tradition, an act of charity can reverse a negative decree from the heavens. Charity not only improves the world around us, but also enhances us as individuals. This is the secret of how the Jewish people built a defense against disasters in partnership with God. Sharing creates space in our lives for more blessings to come. When you start donating, you enter an endless cycle. You earn, you give, and then you earn more. Now pay attention to what comes next. If you watch this video to the end, you will likely be the first wealthy person in your family, as I will teach you very important things. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to be successful in life? You can learn to be successful just like you learn math, chemistry, or biology. The same logic applies. You can learn to be successful too. This is completely different from being successful. Being successful is one thing, having success is another. For example, there may be a soccer player who is very successful, but their personal life may be a complete mess. This person might succeed in playing soccer, but is not successful in life. To be successful in life, you must work in various areas: personal, professional, financial, familial, social, and friendship. This is the big difference between having success and being successful. What are you seeking? Do you want to succeed in something specific, or do you want to be fully successful? Leave your comment. I want to hint that if you want to be successful, watch this video to the end, because at the end you will find valuable tips. Now let's return to our analysis. You might be thinking, to be successful, I would have to be born into a privileged home. No, no, no. On the contrary, successful people generally had challenging childhoods. 85% of people who consider themselves successful in Brazil came from humble families, meaning they worked as employees for someone and faced hardships. Therefore, you are not doomed to be who you have always been. Your past is gone, and you cannot change it, but your future is still unwritten. You can start writing it today. If you understand this, it will make a huge difference in your life. Know that we are the only animals on planet Earth with the ability to transcend. This means starting over. It doesn't matter where you were born, the education you received as a child, or what you have or haven't done until now. Tomorrow you can open a new book and start the first page. This is called transcending. But to do this, we need to make some modifications. First, you and all of us know what I'm talking about. A series of beliefs. Our way of operating is based on these beliefs, and often they are unfavorable, not bringing us the desired results. A belief becomes obsolete when it does not provide what we want: to evolve. So let's eliminate outdated beliefs that are not bringing us desirable results. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The secret is to make the wheel spin faster. Someone has come before, studied all this, researched millionaires and successful people not only in finance but also in family, health, etc. They identified common habits that these people have. So, do you want to walk towards success? I want to know where you are starting from. If you don't have a clear idea of where you are coming from, it's practically impossible to achieve the success you desire. The first thing we need to know is your level of self-esteem. I will do a questionnaire here with yes and no answers. We will evaluate 5 areas in your life: health, family, finances, professional life, and friendships. For each one, you will give a score from 1 to 10. Then, we will sum these scores, and you will see what happens. Let's start first with health. We know people who are 30 years old and never get sick, right? And we also know people who are sick every day. So, you will evaluate your health. If you are the type of person who never gets sick and is always well, you will give a score of 10. Why do you consider yourself completely healthy if you face daily health problems? You're going to give yourself a rating of 1. So between 1 and 10, what score do you think you deserve? If you have vices, smoke, drink, and use illegal drugs, that will certainly affect your evaluation. You should ask your subconscious and decide what score to give your health. Now let's talk about your family. When I mention family, I refer to your immediate family, your parents, children, siblings, in-laws, and family in general. On a scale of 1 to 10, what score would you assign? Do you have an ideal family, perfect, with nothing to change? Then it would be a 10. First, you rated your health and now your family. Now let's discuss your financial life. How is your bank account? If you lost your job today or faced an unexpected event, how long could your lifestyle be sustained? This is called an emergency fund. It's the number of days you can maintain your standard of living if your income stops. Have you earned enough for money to work for you, as money is an excellent employee but a terrible boss? If you work for money, I sympathize, but if, on the other hand, you make money work for you, then all is well, as that's what money does best. So, how is your financial life? Are you the type of person who can take a break from work? Let's say today you decide to stop working. Would the money you have saved or invested be enough to sustain your lifestyle? What score do you believe you deserve? If you are in debt, spending more than you earn, or if you earn and spend everything immediately, your score would be close to 1. It's not me. It's you who will choose this score, just like you chose the scores for your health and family. Now, let's move on to your job, your professional life. Let me ask a simple question. If you won $1 million in the lottery tomorrow, would you continue doing the same job or change? If you win $1 million tomorrow and are still doing exactly the same thing the next day, it indicates that you are completely in tune with your professional activity and deserve a 10. Now, if you are counting the days until retirement, that means you are not satisfied with what you do and deserve a score close to 1 or 2. We've covered health, family, finances, and work. Now we have one more score: friendship. I'm not talking about acquaintances, but friends you can rely on. Who can count on you today? Who do you know would stand by you in difficult times? That's a good question to evaluate who is close to you. Regarding friendship, you should consider 2 things. First, the quantity of friends. And second, the quality of those relationships. Sometimes it's much more valuable to have a few friends but of superior quality. So, what is your score? Now that you've assigned scores to your health, family, finances, professional life, and friendship, Add those 5 scores together. I'll use an example to help. Suppose I assigned a score of 7 to each of these 5 areas of my life. Adding 7 5 times results in 35. I multiply that number by 2 and end up with 70. This indicates that I'm operating my self-esteem potential at 70%. Do the same and see what happens. Take those 5 scores, add them, and multiply by 2. Now you understand where you are starting from. Assuming I start at 70%, that means I'm using 70% of my self-esteem, 70% of my soul's potential. If now I increase that potential to 72, 73, it makes a huge difference. A small variation in performance results in a big difference in outcomes. One example is a horse that finishes first compared to one that finishes second. The difference is by a nose. That's a small discrepancy. Just the nose of the first horse crossed the finish line slightly before the second. But think, the first will be remembered forever, will win the prize, and receive many accolades, while the second will be just a memory. No one will remember who came in second. Learn that a small variation in performance brings big differences in results. You can compare a poor, unsuccessful person with a successful millionaire. Both get up and go to bed at similar times. Thus, you realize there's not much difference between them, but one executes small details strategically, and that makes all the difference. Now you realize you are operating at 60% of your self-esteem. And you ask, how can I improve? Here comes a crucial point. I'll present 3 things you should do. The first is to develop the skill of visualization, not of what you don't want, but of what you desire. If you focus on what you don't want instead of what you want, it's like driving a car looking in the rearview mirror. You know where you came from, but don't know where you're going. Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge. Whenever there was a dispute between knowledge and imagination won. Therefore, you must learn to visualize the situation you want. It needs to exist first in your mind. For example, if you dream of acquiring a new house, you should imagine how many rooms it will have, how it will be built, what color the exterior and interior walls will be, how many bedrooms and bathrooms there will be, as well as the furniture and carpets you will choose. Shape this new dwelling in your mind. The more detailed and more characteristics you insert, the easier it will be to materialize. Because everything that exists in the material universe was created twice. Would you like to see? Look around you. Choose any item you see, any one, even that object in your hands. Exactly, your cell phone. Even before it was developed, it went through someone's imagination. Thus, everything that exists in the physical universe first existed in someone's mind before manifesting in the real world. You need to learn the process of visualization. It's quite simple. Close your eyes and focus on what you desire in your health, your family life, your career, and the most significant areas of your life. This is the first step you should follow. But it's not just that. Have you noticed that since I started speaking, there's an internal dialogue in your mind? A conversation that's continually talking to you? Do you agree? However, there are aspects with which you don't agree. There's a chatter in your head. A voice is questioning. What voice is that? So pause for a moment and listen. Is it welcoming or not? Do you see it as a friend? Or is it someone who criticizes you? It could be your own voice, the voice of your father or mother. But this internal dialogue makes a huge difference in your life. When negative dialogue arises, you should say, cancel, cancel, cancel. Let me add, how do you carry your body? What is your posture? Visit a mall in your city and observe people. You will see individuals walking with their heads held high, looking toward the horizon, and others walking with their heads down, looking at the ground. If you are in an environment and a king, queen, prince, or princess enters, even without knowing who they are, you'll notice that these people have an aura of majesty. What does it mean to have majesty? They walk with an upright posture. Since childhood, they learned from the butler to walk as if balancing a book on their heads. When I stretch my body, imagining a hook from the sky pulling my head, my neck lengthens and my shoulders relax. I connect with universal intelligence, this flow of wisdom. And do you know what happens? I improve my self-esteem. To elevate my self-esteem, I need to master visualization, know how to handle internal dialogue, and cancel what is negative. This is a serious matter. Have you ever thought that we are always imagining things, whether good or bad? If I say, think of an elephant, at this moment you visualize an elephant. Now, if I tell you, don't think of a lion, you just ended up thinking of it. Do you know why? Because the word not has no linguistic representation. For example, a mother might say, my child, don't bother your little sister. The child continues to bother her because for the subconscious mind, the mother is asking him to bother her. What the mother should do is focus on what she really wants. My child, could you leave your sister alone? You should express what you want and not what you don't want, and this also applies to internal dialogue. Learn to control this, and this video will be very worthwhile for you. It will bring huge benefits in the long run. If you understand what I'm saying, please comment. I understood. Now I will teach another very important lesson. We are evaluated in life by three aspects: by your appearance, by what you say, and how you say what you say. If someone asks you a question, the way you respond makes all the difference. If I ask, what do you do in life? And you reply, I'm a bricklayer. I put one brick on top of another. And then I ask the second bricklayer, and you, what do you do in life? He will also say he is a bricklayer, but he will add, I'm building Maracanã, which is the largest soccer stadium in the world, and it will stand here for posterity. See how interesting? Both are doing the same activity, but one only sees it as work, while the other has a broader vision. Therefore, the second one will not be a bricklayer for long. He will soon own a construction company. Additionally, you are evaluated by your appearance. If you want to play for Flamengo, don't show up there in Fluminense's uniform. If you want to join the army, don't go in shorts and a tank top. You need to be appropriately dressed for the occasion. I'm going to give a lecture on success, so I must be suitably presented for the situation. Do you understand? You can be watching in whatever way you like. In shorts? It doesn't matter. That's fine. But if I were giving this lecture in a church, for example, I couldn't be in shorts and flip-flops. I would have to dress appropriately for the occasion. Appearance is extremely relevant. You are judged by your appearance and by what you say. As long as you don't say anything, no one will know if you're intelligent or not. But the moment you speak and say something inappropriate, there's no going back. An arrow shot doesn't return. When a word is spoken, it no longer belongs to you. It has been released into the world. If you're not sure what you're going to say, it's better to stay silent. Most wise people are respected for speaking little. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. Two individuals can express the same thing, and the impact will be totally different. There's a saying, the singer is more important than the song. You're a fan of a great singer, right? Imagine he has a song that touches your heart. The same song sung by a singer you don't appreciate wouldn't have the same impact on you. So, know what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and when to say it. Let me share another important piece of knowledge. Imagine you're going to bake a cake. This cake isn't made just with flour, nor just with butter, nor just with eggs. Certainly, butter is essential, eggs are necessary, but they are not enough. The success recipe we are studying consists of 6 components. The first is self-esteem, the second is communication. Next are goals, posture, effort, and finally, ambition. When you combine these 6 components with patience and perseverance, traits that professionals have but amateurs lack, you start to make a difference. Amateurs want everything immediately, but nature doesn't work that way. Dawn comes only after night, and when you plant a seed, it's still a seed the next day, beginning its germination process. It's essential to understand that you're on the right path and give it time to materialize. Many people make the mistake of giving up before things manifest. Thus, patience and perseverance are crucial. Now I want to discuss goals. It's vital to learn how to turn a dream into a goal, and then turn that goal into reality. How do you transform a dream into a goal? It's crucial to set a date. Everything you wish for won't happen just by being in your mind. If you have a dusty book on your shelf, it's because there's no someday on the calendar. Do you agree? For things to start manifesting, setting a date is imperative. When you say, "One day we will do this," it lacks a specific day on the calendar and thus will never happen. But when you set a date, things change. You need to learn to assign dates to your dreams. The moment you put a date on a dream, it becomes a goal, making the universe begin to work in your favor. However, turning a dream into a goal is not the end of the journey. It's just the beginning. It's essential to understand that the value of a goal lies not only in achieving it, but in putting it into motion. Often something even more significant can happen along the way. Think of the 3 most important things that have happened in your life. What comes to mind? Your marriage, the birth of a child, a job promotion? Many of these experiences weren't planned. You didn't wake up one day deciding to meet someone, fall in love, and marry. These things just happened. The same applies to your work. You didn't just wake up and decide to become employed by that specific company. You may have seen an ad, been invited for an interview, and suddenly received a call to start working. Therefore, it's essential to have goals to set yourself in motion, but also to be open to new opportunities that may arise. Flexibility is vital. Moreover, your goals should not be one-dimensional. It's important to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. For example, if you are a mother, one of the noblest professions in the world, and you dedicate yourself entirely to that role, you risk feeling empty when your children grow up and lead their own lives. You may end up facing empty nest syndrome. That's why it's crucial to have a variety of goals: financial, professional, social, familial, and health-related. What good is it to earn a lot of money but have health issues? Finding a balance is necessary. Goals should be constantly revisited. Don't just think of them on December 31st and assume everything is resolved. You need to review your goals daily. A common practice among Easterners is the use of the Daruma doll. They paint one eye of the doll and place it in a visible location as a reminder of their goals. Upon achieving a goal, they paint the other eye. It's common to see several of these figures, some with both eyes painted and others with just one. This demonstrates the importance of remembering and reviewing your goals, which should be personal and meaningful to you. Now, let's talk about posture. The attitude you adopt in life makes a huge difference in the results you obtain, and this attitude depends on the paradigm in which you live. Imagine a fish that has never left the water. It doesn't know it lives in water. It's important to be aware of your own attitudes and how they impact your life. Because for him to realize that he lives in water, he needs to experience what is not water. Similarly, for you to understand that you live within a paradigm, it's necessary to step outside of it. If you have never stepped out, you do not realize that you are restricted. One example of a paradigm was the belief that the Earth was flat. It was unfeasible to take a trip around the world on a flat Earth. When the concept changed to the Earth being spherical, it became possible to make that trip. A paradigm shift multiplies opportunities. What seems impossible to you today may just be a limitation of the paradigm in which you are operating. Once you change the paradigm, what was once unfeasible becomes feasible. Traveling around the world on a flat Earth is impossible. The moment it is recognized that the Earth is round, it becomes feasible. It is interesting to observe that what is impossible in your life currently is based on the paradigm you live in. Another important lesson I want to share: pay attention. You need to stop worrying about what others think of you, because that is not your problem, but theirs. They can think whatever they want, just as you also have that freedom. If you feel obligated to explain yourself to everyone about what you are doing, you are not living your life, but the lives of others. Having a positive and optimistic attitude makes all the difference. For example, when you start a project, your mindset should be that everything will go well. If you begin by believing you will fail, you probably won't succeed. The team that enters the field believing they will lose usually does lose. When you start a project, it is essential to invest all your energy into it, as if it is going to succeed, because this way the chances of success are much higher. I want to convey an important message. Pay attention. Our problems are our best allies. You may not know it, but a problem can transform your life. For example, if you lost your job, you can now become an entrepreneur. It is not what happens in your life that determines what will come next, but what you do with what occurs. Therefore, have self-esteem, good communication, attitude, ambition, goals, and a mission. The work is as follows. We have 24 hours a day, 8 of which we spend sleeping, leaving us with 16 hours. A good part of that time you will spend working on something. If you are engaged in something you do not appreciate, you are wasting part of your life. Choose something that brings satisfaction. People who work in something they love seek self-fulfillment, good remuneration, and growth opportunities. You may notice that if you are in a poorly paying company, you won't stay there. And if you work for a well-paying company that does not provide fulfillment, you will get tired. If you are there and not promoted or encouraged, it is wise to look for something better. The ideal is to reach the day when you work for yourself. Better yet, you are always working for yourself because the company may offer you a salary. But by improving yourself, you are investing in yourself. The day you leave the company, you will take that improvement with you. Napoleon Hill, in studying millionaires, concluded that 85% of them, before becoming millionaires, worked for someone else. But they worked with the mindset that the company was theirs. They made their efforts pay off more and managed as if they were the owners. Most employees, on the other hand, think, I'm just an employee, so I won't make an effort. The problem is that in doing so, they miss the opportunity to learn how to be a business owner. You are always working for yourself, right? There is just one thing missing: ambition. Do you know what Kaizen is? The word Kaizen in Japan means continuous improvement. Today better than yesterday, tomorrow better than today. In 1945, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were devastated, and 40% of Japan was destroyed. Today, Japan is among the 5 best countries in the world. Do you know what happened? Remember this philosophy called Kaizen: always improve. When you say you don't want anything more in life, it's as if you are affirming that it is time to die, because you are here to learn. When you transcend and change your cosmic address, when you arrive on the other side, 3 questions will be asked of you. The first, what did you learn here? This is a school. We are all learning. The second, did you make the place better for those who will come after you? And the most important, did you cost more than you contributed, or did you contribute more than you cost? I recommend that when you lay your head on the pillow at night, you ask yourself, today, did I cost more than I contributed, or did I contribute more than I cost? This today accumulates, and it's important to take this consideration into account. I want to make it clear that life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. To give the next hello, you need to say goodbye. The big hello of your life you won't remember, but you gave it when you arrived on planet Earth. You arrived crying, and everyone who was there to welcome you was smiling. I hope that when you die and transcend, when you change your cosmic address, you have fulfilled your mission. Let the exact opposite happen, that you leave smiling because you fulfilled your mission here, and those who stay will remain crying. You are leaving, and need to learn to deal with these 6 elements: self-esteem, communication, goals, work, attitude, and ambition. As I mentioned, what separates the professional from the amateur is patience and persistence. I don't need to worry about my weaknesses. I should focus on my skills. These skills will make my weaknesses disappear. That's the big insight. Therefore, if you're not prepared, it won't matter. If I offer 20,000 euros a month to teach German in Germany, and you don't speak the language, it won't make a difference. When you are prepared and the opportunity arises, because it will often come in the form of a challenge, when it happens and you are ready, people call that luck. Luck is just the opportunity that appears and you are ready to seize it. In other words, your luck is built by you. That person who is adrift, waiting for things to happen, will achieve nothing. That's the big problem. Be ready when the great opportunity arrives. If you've watched this video so far, comment, "This is the secret of life." Just comment that. When I see this comment, I'll know you watched the entire video, and that shows you are a persistent and patient person. You are closer to success than those who left halfway through the video. Now, I imagine you want to expand your knowledge even further, right? So, on your screen, there's a video where I'm going to teach you how to get out of poverty and achieve wealth. Click on it and watch now.